Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Judy Lee and we're here to do the July pick a card reading. So basically it's your message for the month, or the area that you need to focus on this coming month. Alright, so if you haven't done a pick a card reading before, you just simply need to choose the group that resonates with you. So you can choose by picking the cards. So this is group 1, group 2, group 3, or otherwise you can choose using crystals. So we've got a beautiful lapis lazuli here, which is absolutely amazing, the color. Then we've got ocean jasper, which is lovely as well. And then also we've got fluorite for group 3. So feel into or choose the one that resonates with you the most, and then click on the description box below. The timestamp will be there and you'll be able to select the group that resonates most with you. So that's either group 1, group 2 or group 3. So I look forward to seeing you a bit later. Speak to you soon. Bye. Hi group 1, welcome to your reading. Let's see what July holds for you, what the message is for you, and the guidance for the month ahead. So the card you've got is yin yang. So when I look at this, the first thing I see really is about finding balance in your life. So for example, if you're in the yin energy, which is more about just the equivalent of being in your feminine energy, which is one that is more receptive, more that nurturing, soft, that type of energy, then it might be the time to start taking action and going into that yang energy, which is more forward movement, moving things forward, like plans that you may have had, especially during Mercury retrograde, which we've just come out of. There would have been a lot of reflection and going over old things, and you probably may have felt that things had slowed down, or maybe you're feeling a bit stuck with a certain area of your life. And so what this is saying is that it's time to move things forward, if you have been in the yin energy. And so it applies if it's a reverse. So for example, if you've been very busy and pushing things forward and just being very active, then it's time to balance it out by being moving into that more receptive energy, and just allowing ideas to come to you, just tuning into yourself and your intuition. And because often we like being active because it feels like we're achieving things and moving things forward, but the being in that receptive space and in that yin energy, it's just as important, because we need that time to really reflect and to go inwards and to feel into what's really right for us. So take those points into consideration. So feel into which part you're in, whether you're in the yin energy or the yang energy, and what you need to do in order to bring more balance into your life. And the number 4 as well, when I see that, it's about like bringing, adds up to a 4, the 22, and that brings it's like creating foundations and stability in your life. So that's also something to consider, where can you start building new foundations and bringing more stability into what you're doing, and setting new patterns, really. That's what I'm feeling from that. So let's see what the tarot has to say. What's the message for group 1? That card just really flipped. I'll just have to go and grab it. Yeah, that's the second one. Hi group one, sorry about that. I had to grab the card and it ended up tilting the camera, etc. So let's continue with the third card, or whichever other cards want to come out. Okay, there we are. So we've got the Empress. Right. So let's see what we've got at the bottom of the deck. Okay. So at the bottom of the deck we've got the Nine of Swords. And so, you know, as you can see in the picture, you've got someone who is staying up at night, not able to sleep because of probably worries and concerns and things like that. And so, and the swords represent our thoughts really. And so it's, if that's you, then, you know, it's almost about, well, it's time to bring things into balance, because having these thoughts and worries won't serve you. You know, there's so many old conditionings that we have and old beliefs, and you know that come up all the time because they're needing to be released. So it's almost like start to notice what you're saying to yourself. You know, you're saying, and it happens so unconsciously. We have so many thoughts during the day, and you know, how many of them are actually ones that are saying, you know, you're not good enough, this is never going to work out. You know, it's the more that you can become aware of the thoughts that you're having, and you don't need to stop them, you don't need to necessarily do anything about it, but just have that awareness, because just by having that awareness we can decide to do things differently. We don't need to keep thinking that way or feeling that way, and having that awareness gives us the opportunity, you know, to change whatever belief is underlying that. So that's just something about really just becoming aware of your thoughts if they're keeping you up at night. And you know, if you feel that you're in your head and it's hard to come back, you know, because we often get into our heads and we don't even know what's, you know, that we're in that space. And sometimes it can be hard when we have all these running thoughts that are, you know, just sort of going crazy in our mind. So when you feel that way, the best thing to do is to come back into your body, and you can do that either by breathing. Just start to take, you know, conscious breaths, like breathing in, then breathing out, and breathing in, and just doing that consciously will help you to come back into your body. And then another thing that I found useful as well is to stretch your body. So just to you know, start to massage your head, for example, and then just go down to your arms, and then, you know, your back and your stomach, and then your legs, and that helps you to bring you back into your body as well. And then you can do some simple stretches, you know, some yoga, or you know, if that's what you're interested in, and you'll just find that the energy starts to settle. So yeah, that's just some advice for you if that's what you're experiencing. So I'm just going to put that to the side. So what you've got here is the Two of Swords, and so as you can see here, I just noticed that it's a 2 as well, you know, in line with the 2 there, and so that's also about balance. And you've also got another card which is about balance, but we'll go into that in a bit. And so the Two of Swords is you're almost at a point of having to make a decision, or you can't decide. And you know, that brings me back to what I just said, like if you're in that state of, you know, you really don't know which way to go, and you've got 2 different thought patterns that are running through you, then it's a really good time to settle into yourself and just allow your thoughts to be there, but to not, you know, what do you call it, drown in them, or you know, be absorbed by them. And so, you know, by doing the techniques that I mentioned before about breathing consciously, and then doing the stretches and, you know, the body massage, that will help you. And, you know, something else as well is really coming back into your heart space. And what that means is, because we go into our heads and we try to make decisions from there, but that's where our fears and anxieties lie. And so it's very hard to make a decision that's important to us when we're you know, from the headspace, really. So it's about sinking back into your heart and making a decision from love. And so, you know, what that means is allowing yourself to not be attached to a certain outcome. And I know that's really difficult because we want things to turn out a certain way, but the more that we can let go of how things are going to turn out, the easier it is to be able to make decisions, and decisions that are actually right for us. So take that into consideration if you're experiencing that. And then we've got the Six of Pentacles, and, you know, this is about balance, especially in the physical, because the pentacles represent the physical, really, like coins and things that we see. So again, you know, in line with the yin yang, it's about finding balance in your life, and, you know, maybe it is about finding balance in your finances as well. You know, where are you imbalanced in that area? What are the thoughts that may be driving that? You know, are you coming from a perspective of lack, or is there are you coming from a space of abundance? Because when we come from a space of lack, then we worry, and yeah, it motivates us to do things that aren't necessarily the best for us. So again, you know, come back into a calm space and create balance from, you know, your heart space, from really coming back into your body and allowing the thoughts to come down and out of your head, and be able to feel into what feels right for you. And then last card, we've got the Empress card, and, you know, really this is for me saying that when you do all of that, you become the Empress. And, you know, you look at her and she's abundant, and she's got the harvest there. She's just like, yes, everything is happening perfectly. There's not fear there, you know, and she just knows that everything will come to her in right timing, and that she doesn't need to worry. And so almost, you know, what this message is saying is, by, you know, come into that space of really just allowing yourself to be, and, you know, to know that things are happening for you as they're meant to, and unfolding as they're meant to, and that actually it's your birthright to be in this space. You know, we've been conditioned to be in fear, really, where actually that isn't the reality, or it doesn't need to be the reality. So it's, you know, there's a lot of retraining that we need to do now that we're entering a new phase on the planet. So really, you know, allow yourself to do the work to get into this space to be the Empress. And, you know, when you start to come from a space of love, bring balance into your life, then you'll find that it's easy to slip into this space of being the Empress, and just allowing things that are meant for you to come to you, because they will. Because if it's meant for you, you know, it just is. There's no doubt about it. The universe will provide it to you. So I hope that resonates with you, Group 1. Very strong message and really lovely. So yeah, I hope that in the month of July you'll be finding balance in your life and coming into this space of being the Empress. Alright, I'll see you later. Bye. Hi, Group 2. Welcome to your reading. So let's see what July holds for you. So we've got the card Door to Romance, which is really such a sweet card. So if this is something like, what am I trying to say? if you're looking for love, then this is a good month to see what happens in this area. But also it's for those of you who perhaps looking to improve your relationship with others and also with yourself. So I did a pick a card reading about how to increase love in your life, and I'll put that in the description box in case that might be interesting for you as well. So yeah, this month could be a month about romance, and my view on love is the sense that when you increase the love that you have for yourself, then you attract more love into your life, whether that's romantically or from friends, from all the people around you, really. So if this is something that you're looking to improve in your life, then start with yourself and ask yourself where you could be more loving to yourself. What are some of the things that you could do that will be really kind and almost like like what is it in your life that you want to receive from another? For example, if you're in a relation or you're wanting a relationship, what are the qualities that you want in this person? So it might be I want them to be generous, I want them to be motivated. I'm just pulling things out of thin air, really. But then once you've created a list of what it is that you want in this person, and you can even do this for for those of you who are already in relationships, it's create that list of what it is that you either want in a potential new partner, or what it is that you want in your current partner. And then look at the list and just ask yourself, are you satisfying these areas for yourself? Because oftentimes we want things from other people, and I feel that it's just the way that we've been told what love is when you love someone, this is what you do for them. But actually, it's being able to give ourselves the love that we need. I think that's such an important point. And initially when I heard that, which was many years ago, I used to think, what's that about? Why? Surely, that we meet someone who gives us those things. But over time, I've realized how powerful it is to be able to love ourselves in the way that we want others to love us, and how fulfilling that really is. Because we can't really receive love from another if we don't love ourselves in the way that we would want to be. Because it's almost as if we wouldn't even see it, because our capacity to love ourselves is limited. So then our capacity to see the love outside of ourselves is also limited. So the message is coming in really strongly about really putting the time into to love yourself, and to think about those things that you want in a partner, or you want your partner to do, and to really focus on looking at each item that you've listed down, and really asking yourself, am I doing these things for myself? And if you think about it in a relationship, if you feel someone has these expectations of you, it really puts pressure on the relationship. Whereas if you're able to give it to yourself, then there's almost this openness in the relationship where that person can choose to give it to you, or you know that you can give it yourself. And more than likely, the way that you communicate with this person will be much more different if you're able to be loving and kind to yourself in the way that you want him or her to be. There's just more of an easy flow and a lightness to it, rather than this, you must be like this for me. So yes, that was quite a lot to be said about that. So just put that there. Let's see what the tarot has to say for you, group 2. What's the message for group 2? Oops, I think that one wants to come out. And one just fell, so I'm just going to quickly, oops, sorry about that, grab that. And then what else is there for group 2? I don't seem to want to bring out another one. I'm just going to feel into it then. Going to pull out this card. Right. So then at the bottom of the deck we've got the Three of Wands, which is great really, because the Three of Wands is about, you know, waiting for the ships to sail in, waiting to see the results of the hard work that you've done. And so, you know, it's almost like if you have been doing this work, you know, to really look after yourself and be more loving and kind to yourself, then you will see that being reflected in your outside world. And so it's almost like reiterating, if you haven't been doing that, then start to do it, because it will reap rewards for you. That's kind of simple message. Then we've got the Five of Swords, and so, you know, as you can see, this guy, the swords represent our thoughts, but there's also, looks like there's been some kind of conflict, and you know, people are turned away from each other, and you've kind of got this guy who's looking a bit smug, and it's almost something about, you know, I guess for me the focus is on these people who are kind of turned away, and you've got one person who is looking happy and just feels imbalanced for me. And so, you know, if you're in this situation where, you know, you've got someone who is upset, or, you know, you're feeling upset, it's about, you know, what thoughts and beliefs do you need to let go of in order to bring, you know, more peace and love to the relationship that you're experiencing at the moment. Because, you know, with love there is no winner or loser. It just, you know, it just is. And so if there is that feeling of being a bit smug, or, you know, this is what should be mine, then for me that's coming from a place of fear. And, you know, if you've got fear running through you, then it's hard to be loving. So just keep that in mind if that's something that resonates with you, if you're in a situation where, you know, there's tension in the relationship that you're in, and this can be romantic or not. Just sort of see, you know, where you're coming from. Are you coming from a place of love, where you're wanting the best for all the people involved, or is it coming from a place of fear, where it's like, well, no, I want to be the one that wins, because then that isn't loving to yourself or anyone else. And then the Three of Pentacles is about, you know, the foundations, and it brings me back to what was at the bottom of the deck about the Three of Wands. It's, you know, build the foundations of loving yourself, so that you can, you know, reap the rewards of that by seeing, you know, a romance come through, or improving the love that you have in your current relationship. So that's really a great clarifier. And then we've got the Wheel of Fortune, and so the Wheel of Fortune is just about, you know, things happening when they're meant to happen with right timing. And so if you're looking for love, you know, start with yourself, but also know that it will come when the time is right. We often want things to happen in our own timing, but there's a lot of things that need to happen within ourselves, and, you know, with our partners, before things align. And so, it's the more that you can spend time on yourself and doing the things that are loving for yourself, the more that you allow the energies to relax, and for the universe or spirit to bring in what it is that is right for you. And so, just to sum it all up, if love is on your mind at the moment, or you've got you want to improve the current relationship that you're in, start with yourself and really let go of those old thought patterns and beliefs that keep you stuck in fear and not working from a place of love. If you feel there's a win and lose situation, then try and let go of that and try and come from a place of, well, what would love look like? And building these strong foundations will have lots of rewards for yourself and also for the people around you. And things will happen in right timing, so try not to get too fixated on a specific time frame or specific outcome. These things will just come together when they're meant to and unfold in the most perfect way. Alright, group 2, I hope that resonates with you, and I'll see you in the next reading. Bye. Hi group 3, welcome to your reading. Let's see what July holds for you and any other messages that come through. So we've got strategy, which is really interesting, and I guess what I'm drawn to is journal log, and it's almost about getting clear about what it is that you want. Are you clear about what you want in the future? Take the time to really reflect on it, and if you can, feel into what it is that you want, because if you've had a similar upbringing to me, kind of got told by society and our caregivers that the goal was about having more money, for example, and having a house and having all those things that are we're told that we should have, but it really isn't for everybody. And the way to really feel it, way to deal with it is to really feel into what it is that you want. If you could have whatever you wanted, what would that look like? What would that feel like? I got asked a question last year, which was about if I didn't have to work to earn money, for example, what would I be doing with my day? And I thought it was such a good question, because it takes out the survival aspect, that earning money does have a relationship with. For example, if you didn't have to go to work every day doing a job that may not be that satisfying for you, what would it look like instead? And it's just such an interesting question, because before, I'm not sure, I think I would have answered it quite differently, whereas now I just think what matters to me is being able to have time to appreciate life and to really take the time to smell the roses and things like that. And so it'd be interesting to see what you come up with, what really is at the core of your desires, because life is so short, and we all obviously need to make a living to live, but there's so many ways that we can do that, and it doesn't have to be hard. And kind of the old way that we were working is that we needed to earn a certain amount of money and the house needs to look a certain way, but it doesn't have to be that way. There's so many different options that we have now, and a lot of people, it was drummed into me that I needed to have a house, and that something physical, but now I know people who just rent, and for them it's a positive, because it gives them flexibility, and so it's about really finding a path that resonates with you, and what works with you. And you know, write down what it is that you want, or journal, because sometimes we think we know what we want, but actually it's just because of old things, old conditionings that we've had. So start to write them down, and you know, spend time getting to understand yourself, because journaling is such a good tool for that, and I really enjoy it. And you know, journaling doesn't have to be, it's really just a space for you to express yourself, and there's no right or wrong. It's just about writing what comes up for you and allowing it to be seen and heard. That's what I experience as journaling. So take that, and you know, don't make it a hard activity for yourself. So let's see what else, what other messages are coming through for you for the month of July. Okay. Other messages for group 3. This one's sticking out. Okay, great. Let's just see what's at the bottom of the deck. Okay, so we've got the Knight of Cups, and so Knight of Cups, the cups represent our emotions, and so for me in this case, when I see it's about forward movement in an emotional way. And so maybe that means fulfillment, things improving in that way, and things becoming calmer perhaps as well, because I see the water running and there's almost like a flow that is happening in life. And so it's almost you know, allow yourself to go through this process of really getting clear about what it is that you want in your life, because then it allows, you know, and allow the emotional side to come up as well, because you know, we do have attachments to certain things, and you know, if we can really get you know, feel into what it is that we want, and also be able to imagine it, then we're able to move forward with it as well, and for allow things to flow as they're meant to. And also I think when we're really clear about what we want, then the steps forward become clearer as well. You don't need to know every how, every step in the how to get there. You just need to be clear on what it is that you want, and then, you know, allow that first step to come to you. And so you've got the Six of Wands, which is a victory card. So what it's saying is that you know, whatever you put your energy towards will be successful. You know, this guy's like almost in a parade and sort of showing all that he's achieved and done. And this can be in a very, it can be in a physical sense, but it can also be in an emotional way. Like, what is it that you hope to achieve emotionally? Like perhaps you know, you might be struggling with, you know, valuing yourself or self-worth, and you know, by being clear about where it is that you want to be, you know, it allows you to know where you're going, and to be, you know, successful in this way, because you know, it's like almost where you put your energy is where you will see expansion. So if you're focusing your time on what it is that you don't want, and you know, all the bad things that are happening in your life, then you know, it's no surprise that you'll just see more of it. So you know, it's almost like this card is saying, it's clarifying that when you focus on the things that you do want, you'll be victorious. So put your energy into that and don't waste your time. Obviously allow, you know, thoughts or feelings that are associated with that to come up, because in some, I don't necessarily believe in positive thinking, but more, you know, it's important to acknowledge everything that is going on for us, and you know, ignoring something is even probably, you know, it's just like the elephant in the room. It's there, but it's just not being seen, and so it still affects us. So it's better to bring things to the light and allow them, you know, to have their space to be felt, heard, etc. And then you'll be able to see what it is, you know, that you'll have clarity about what the forward movement is for you. And then we've got the Page of Wands, which is, you know, the page is the, what do you call it? The first of the court cards. So it's almost like the germ of a thought or idea or activity. So this is almost like once you do this strategy, once you take the time to really focus on what it is that you want and to really feel into it, you know, write it down, get clear about it, then the idea, the how is going to come through for you, because the wands represent actions, and so it's almost like when you get clear with everything else, it will just be really obvious to you what you need to do in order to move it forward, which is great. And then you've got the Death card, which is wonderful as well, even though obviously it doesn't sound like it, but it's almost the death of the old in order to allow the new. And so it's closing one door to allow a new one in. And you know, we're in such a big growth period at the moment where it feels like it's just constant letting go and starting afresh. You know, this constant energy, which, you know, is amazing, and it can obviously be tiring to go through, but it's going to give you the rewards that you're seeking. So if you find that you know, coming up with this idea can be scary, because it might mean saying goodbye to a situation, to some people, and that can be hard. So give yourself that space and time to really go through that process, but also know that it's leading you forward into something new, and it's going to be something better, because, you know, things don't really change unless it's time for them to do that. So it's almost like it's time to let go of those old things that no longer serve you, so that you can move into a future that is in more resonance with who you are. So I hope that makes sense for you, group 3. Really spend the time journaling and, you know, thinking about what it is that you want, and the rest will just unfold for you. It's that clarity that we often need, or knowing where we're heading, that really, you know, drives us forward. So take the time to do that. Thanks for watching, group 3. I'll see you soon. Bye.